But the thing is, if you don't look at them, if you don't go deep dive into those experiences, you're going to keep experiencing them on a subliminal level, and they're going to become worse and worse as you get older. I crowned myself queen because that's what my inner child would have wanted. Today I'm going to be talking about inner child work. What if I told you that you could quit if you met your inner child? What if you could effortlessly quit the thing that you hate that you do all the time, the thing that is unconscious, the thing that you don't know why you do it, but you just keep doing it and you don't understand why, or you understand why, but it's impossible for you to change? Well, I'm going to teach you how to quit and how to make it a lasting change by meeting your inner child. And I'm going to be talking about how I met my inner child and all of the implementations that I went through and still go through to this day to make sure that I'm meeting my inner child where she needs to be met. And so developing that relationship and then being able to integrate those parts of me as a younger child into this adult part of me so that I can become the most whole and vibrant person that I desire to be. So how I met my inner child was my parents separated a few years ago, and that was a shock to all of us, to my siblings and I. And it was because we grew up in a fundamental Christian home where it was never expected to divorce. Relationships, marriage was expected to be a lifelong partnership. And so for them to have separated and plan to get a divorce was just something that we did not have on our radar, and something that completely changed all of us, some for the best and some for the worst. And how I coped with that was through meditation. That's when I was first introduced to meditation, or at least the cognizant practice of it. Because before, I believe that we all meditate as humans. We need to, it's a necessity. Before, I was just taking time to think and process my thoughts, and I wasn't actually making the conscious preemptive effort to meditate before everything came crashing down. So it was in that time that I learned how to be preemptive about meditating, and through that I met my inner child. And it was not an occasion where I was intentionally going to meet her or looking to heal that relationship whatsoever. It was more so dealing with my past trauma and my current frustrations and triggers, and seeing what is coming, why am I feeling this way, and where is it stemming from. And in the first kind of round of me really practicing meditation, I became very, very angry with my father. And I was actually screaming out loud as if he was in the room, just yelling at him because I was so angry at the pain that I experienced as a little girl, the result of the pain that I was currently experiencing. And that was such a real and a raw moment for me. And after I did that, after I screamed out loud, when I looked at her, when I truly saw her and had compassion for my inner child, there was something that healed in me. There was something that brought about a change within me that I needed so desperately and I was yearning for. And as a result, I realized how powerful, how impactful meeting your inner child and hearing what she has to say, how important that is. Because the first 7 years of your life are the most foundational and transformational times in your life. Those first 7 years are going to be the years that will determine what your future looks like. It will determine the person that you are, the traumas that you face, the things that are difficult in your life, even the people that you choose to surround yourself with. And that is so humbling for a mother. I go through this every day where I'm just like, oh gosh, I am creating this trauma and this trauma in their life. And I have to give myself grace, knowing that I fully believe we all, before we were born into this human body, we choose to live this existence. We choose who our parents will be. We choose what experiences we're going to have. And as a result, what we experience is going to be our trauma and our greatest gift. Because with that trauma, we can see the contrast in life, we can see the beauty and the not beauty, and know where we want to go closer towards and be more of. And it allows us to have a greater understanding of who the divine is and to have a greater connection to Source. So, it's even kind of like ruffled my feathers just talking about that moment, because it was such a hard emotional moment to have. And a lot of people are scared to meet their inner child because they have to face the fears, they have to face the traumas that once was there. But the thing is, if you don't look at them, if you don't go deep dive into those experiences, you're going to keep experiencing them on a subliminal level, and they're going to become worse and worse as you get older. And I've seen that happen with loved ones. I've seen that happen in so many people's lives. And if they cannot heal, if they cannot transform their inner child, or not transform their inner child, transform themselves based on those fears, if they cannot integrate the inner child and those traumas with who they want to be and a higher version of themselves, then they're not going to grow. If you've seen adolescent acting adults, if you've seen adults that just act in a way that they're still stuck in their adolescent, that is the reason for that. The reason for that is because they have not healed their inner child. They're still acting from a place of wounds and trauma. And it just gets worse. It does not get better, and it doesn't stay the same either. So it is very important for you to heal that relationship with your inner child. And as you develop this relationship, as you meet this child and see what it is that hurt her, see what it is that really brought up a lot of pain for her, and validate that pain, then you can be able to work from a place of compassion and love. That is where we need to be at. We don't need to continue to shame ourselves and say, why can't I get this right? Why can't I quit this thing that I hate? It's not about that. It's about rising to a higher vibrational level of love and understanding, of compassion, even neutrality in awareness, to see where it is that you're coming from, and to then integrate love into that so you can heal, so that you can become the highest version of yourself. Because I feel like the people that are watching my videos, that is their goal, is to transform, is to become a better version, the best version of themselves. And I applaud you for that. It's not an easy thing to do. Most of the world is not doing that, but I do have a feeling that the way that the world is going, it's almost becoming a necessity to become your highest version, because you're going to be left in the dust if you don't. And as a result of me meeting this child, because when I experienced these traumas and have developed these fears, these beliefs, these limiting beliefs for myself as a child, I created them to protect myself. And so for me personally, as an oldest daughter syndrome, I needed to protect myself. I needed to become independent very quickly because I wanted freedom, and I also wanted to be seen and heard. And so as a result, I stepped into my masculine at a very early age and was trapped in that for a long time. And it wasn't until my spiritual awakening where I was opened up to a whole new world, a whole new dimension of who I am, what spirituality is, that I realized the contrast of masculine and feminine energy. And if you're watching my video, you probably already know those differentiating energies. And I applaud you for that, because it takes a level of intuition, a level of becoming the best version of yourself and really doing research to know what those energies are, and to feel that for yourself. And so once I discovered feminine energy, I was like, that's what I want to be. I want to be fully feminine, no more masculine. And to a certain degree, I had to do that to become more balanced, because I was so much in my masculine. But after a couple of years of just trying to be so feminine, I realized that there was a healthy balance that needed to be in play in my life. And once I balanced my masculine and my feminine, I became a very integrated and whole person. And that is my goal for you. That is my goal for all of my clients, is to become the best, highest version of themselves through integrating their inner child and then allowing their feminine energy to come alive and radiate through them, so that they can feel the most authentic, most beautiful version of themselves that is so fulfilling in every way. So as I met this child and saw her fears, saw her insecurities, saw the things that really brought her pain, and gave compassion for them and validated those things, um, I was then able to heal. I was able to step into my feminine, my softer, calmer state of my highest version of myself, because I didn't have to put up these walls anymore of trying to protect myself, of trying to make sure that I had freedom, make sure that I was seen, make sure that I was heard. You know, there's so many things that I did not like that I did. There were certain habits that I had that I was just like, why can't I quit this? Why can't I do this? Or why do I keep doing this? And I just, all I needed to do was ask my inner child, what is going on? Why are you acting from this place? And your inner child is never going to be like, this is the reason why. Your inner child, when you meet her or him, is going to be showing you their heart and showing you the pain so that you can then integrate it. It's such a beautiful, transformative moment. I don't know if I already mentioned this, but so many people are afraid to meet their inner child. And it's such an important thing to do, because once you do that, just having that awareness of the fears that they have, the trauma that they have, you've already done 80% of the transformational work that needed to happen. So once we can validate our inner child, once we can form a relationship where we know, okay, these first 7 years of my life have been developed in a way where I'm now reacting in these ways, and I don't want to react this way anymore. I want to revisit what happened in the past and ask my innocent, gentle, pure inner child, what happened? What was the pain? And it can be just as simple as she needs a hug or she just wants to be heard. It's those simple things that really bring a huge awareness to you of, okay, I know where this is coming from, and I can move past this, or I can make sure that my inner child doesn't feel scared anymore. And something that I really, really recommend looking into is your Lilith sign. It's in astrology, and when you look into that, I think it's your dark moon Lilith. That shows you your shadow side. That shows the hidden parts of you, the subconscious things that you tend to do that are, they just don't make any sense when you do them. But really figuring out what that is can be so transformative. I was just looking at our whole families and I was like, yes, those are so on point. And it's like kind of encouraging to get ahead of it before it happens with my children. I don't know if that's possible because it's all written in the stars. It's all our destiny to experience this. Um, so, you know, it's their trauma is their gift, just like it is mine. And I'm so thankful, honestly, for the trauma that I've experienced because I've been able to see so much beauty from it and just realize the depth and the uniqueness of each person, the depth of source, God, of all creation. I wouldn't have had it any other way. So with that, there were different wounds that I developed. So yes, like it's your destiny to have these things that are in your astrology. But it's so interesting, like you chose who your parents would be, and it's in alignment with your astrology. I have a wound with my father, a masculine wound of needing to be in my masculine, protect myself, and it displayed in my relationship with my husband, who's a male. And then I developed a mother wound. And it was in the same regards. I didn't feel seen, didn't feel heard as a child. And so that developed in different ways. With my father wound, it was that I wasn't seen and heard in relationships with men. With my mother wound, and I just discovered this mother wound recently, which has been so beautiful, and especially being able to work through that with my mother, it's been so cool and so special. But when I realized that, I realized there was a mother wound around creating friendships. And we just moved to a new state. And so I'm having to start over fresh with friendships. And it's challenging. And I'm having to really pick apart what it is that's like a trauma for me. What is it that's keeping me from being able to attain these friendships? And what I realized was that I just didn't feel seen and heard, so I didn't feel worthy of having those friendships. And so I developed an aversion to actually being vulnerable with women, especially in groups. And there was a significant time in my life in the second grade where that made it so clear to me how that trauma was being displayed. And for the longest time, I could only remember that earliest memory. But then going back, I can remember just things that were connected to my mother. And it always goes back to that, like your parents, whoever raised you. Um, and it can be as early as when you were born, like in the womb. But, anyways, so as a result of these wounds, I've been able to meet my inner child and really give her compassion because it wasn't my fault that these traumas happened. And I'm also giving my parents compassion because it's not their fault that these traumas happened, because they experienced them, and it's just this cycle of ancestral trauma that continues. But when does it stop? I want it to stop with me. I want these traumas to stop with me. And unfortunately, some of the residual is going to continue down the road with some of my children. I had 2 children before my spiritual awakening, so they already have some of the trauma that I experienced, which breaks my heart. But at the same time, like I said so many times in this video, it is their gift. It is something that they're going to transform and transmute, and I'm going to be able to give them the power and knowledge to know how to do that. And I'm excited to do that. I'm also a little fearful, but I'm here for them, and I'm so thankful that I have the tools to be able to do that with. Um, so, and the last thing that I wanted to mention was that I've not only experienced meeting my inner child myself, but I've been able to go into deep states of emotional support for my husband in meeting his inner child. And I never, when we first got married, I never expected anything like that. It's been so beautiful and transformative and amazing. There's been a handful of times where we've been able to get very deep into meeting his inner child, talking through it, and transforming that part of him to be integrated, to be seen and validated so that he can move past things that are triggering, things that are holding him back, things that are keeping him from being the highest version of himself. And I am so thankful for that. I'm so thankful to have the honor and the privilege to have met his inner child and to be there as a space holder for that. It's been so beautiful. And so I just really encourage you, hold space for your inner child. And what that can really look like is taking time to meditate, taking, I would say, 20 minutes, but it is the most transformative when you are face to face with something that is very uncomfortable for you, something that you can't quit, something that really frustrates you, something that triggers you, something that just really brings your blood to a boil. What are those things? And when you can find one, get excited and get alone with yourself and look at all the parts of it and take some deep breaths and invite your inner child to be a part of that moment with you. And ask yourself, ask your inner child, what are they feeling right now? Because they're still a part of you. So when you take that moment to really connect to your inner child, ask them, what are they feeling? What's going on for them? And what would they like you to do for them? And it can be as simple as a hug or an encouragement. And you, as an older, more wiser person, can speak to your inner child and can say to them, I see you. I see your hurt. I see your pain. I know this is hard. I know this is uncomfortable, but it's okay because I'm here. I am here to help you now. You were left alone for a long time, but I'm here now. I promise to never leave you again. Please know that you can come to me about anything. I will be your comfort. I will be your guide. I will be your love. And then just start affirming them You are beautiful. You are smart. You are kind. You want to be seen. I will see you. You want to be heard. I will hear you. You're afraid. It's okay. I'm here now. It's the most beautiful, transformative work you can ever do in your life. And I hope that this video was helpful for you to understand that and to give you practical tools to do that, because I believe this is probably the most important work that you will do in your whole life. So, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. It really helps. And thank you so much. Have a great day.